Hey guys, Big Air 01 coming at you with another video on my 2008 Double Eagle 17.6. As you know, I had a 90 horse Mariner on there, and look what I have here. I've got a brand new 2022 Yamaha 115 4-stroke. So in this video, we're going to quickly go over some of the specs, some of the warranty and maintenance. We're going to talk about the break-in, why I bought this Yamaha over the other brands, and some of the options. And we're going to take it for a quick spin and see sort of how this thing goes in the water, and talk a little bit about the break-in as well while I'm out there. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Okay guys, well, first off I want to apologize. It's been a few months since I've posted a video. I mean, we moved, so we've been busy moving and all that stuff, so it's been hard for me to get really anything, including parts for either my motorcycles or my boat. But I managed to pick this up over the winter, and I wanted to share it with you a little bit as to why I bought it. So this is a F115LB, and that basically means that it's a long shaft. It's a 20-inch shaft on this motor. It's about 377 pounds. It's an inline 4-stroke. As you can see right here, it's fuel injected. You can see the different intakes for each one, and you know, I've already had it out for a little bit. I had it out for about, I've probably got about 3 hours on it right now. It basically is almost ready to be able to run at full throttle, so we should be able to do that today. It's a 35 amp alternator on this bad boy, so it should keep my batteries nice and charged. It has the full range on these are about 5,300 to 5,500 RPM operating RPMs. It's a dual overhead cam motor with 4 valves per cylinder. The prop that I put on it is a 13.5 diameter by 15 pitch -K. That's the prop that they put on from the dealership. Obviously I want to put a shout out to Parker Marine. They, not sponsored by them by any means, but they were able to get this motor installed and put all together. As you can see in here, they did a really good job. There's controls in there that I'll show you in a little bit when we go out on the water, and we're going to check the oil here real quick to make sure we got plenty of oil to go out for our little rip out there in the lake, and then we'll go out there in a little bit, but I'll show you the controls and that in a little bit here. This motor comes with a 3-year limited warranty. Obviously, you know, if you're using it for commercial, I think it's only for 1 year, but for pleasure use only, it's got a 3-year limited warranty. You can check out the Yamaha's website for any sort of restrictions on that. One of the biggest reasons why I bought a Yamaha was its reliability. These motors are well-known motors. They've got decent power. We're pretty good on fuel, which to me is a pretty big deal. I definitely wanted something. That 2-stroke that I had on here was very hard on fuel, and that was more of one of the reasons why I went with a 115. This boat is capable of handling a 150 horse power motor on the transom, and but because the boat weighs about, I think it's about 2,500 pounds. You know, one of the other big reasons is no more mixing my fuel. You know, like this is straight gas, so it's a 4-stroke. You know, you can just go to the pump, and it does say, you know, you can put up to you know, or minimum of 87 octane in for your fuel, you know, obviously you would want to put a little bit more or put a higher octane fuel in for better efficiency and stuff like that. But you know, that's basically one of the reasons why I went with this motor. Okay, so I put the cowl back on. Basically there's a latch here and there's a latch on the front here that you just undo and it pops off. But obviously this thing comes with power tilt and trim. So you got a button right here that basically it's got a two-stage fast and slow up and down, as you could hear it going there. And it also has it on the controls up at the front there. It has the maintenance latch that you can put down just so that it's there. I don't recommend that. I travel with a transom saver on mine. That's what I use when I transport my motor. So it came with a water flush system. This system, you just basically unplug this and you hook up a garden hose and you can flush your motor out without having to run it. I was advised that, you know, if you're going to run these motors, you know, all the time, obviously try to do it once a month with you know, the muffs when you're flushing it, just so the thermostat goes in and out, basically allowing the water flow through. But the sales guy at the dealership said that it has a bypass hooked up to this, so it gets most of the salt water out of your heads and all that system. Obviously you're not going to get it down by the impeller or anything like that, but who knows, I'm not an engineer, so it could have that capability of flushing the complete system out. But you know, I'll use that a few times, I guess, and see how it does, and then you know, maybe once a month I'll do what the dealership said and use the earmuffs. It obviously came with some keys, some controls, which I'll show you here in a little bit. It came with the owner's manual and all the gauges as well. So on those gauges, I'll talk a little bit about it when we're on the water, and I'll show you sort of each gauge, what they do, and go from there. But for now, I think that's about all I want to say about why I got this 115. You know, it's going to be a lot quieter than that two-stroke that I had. And if I need to, I can use this in rougher weather for trolling, right? So it is a little bit better motor for that. So, you know, it's going to be a great motor, I think. And so let's hit the water and see how this baby runs. Would you listen to that? Wow, she's quiet compared to that other motor that I had on here. I'm excited. I'm super excited. I'll just get out here a little ways and then I'll I'll start talking a little bit more about that motor. Run! Oh, we just had a fish just jump out in front of me here. All right, guys, we're a little bit offshore here, and so I figured I'd go over a few things that that came with it. Obviously, I've got my controls here, which I'll show you here in a sec. We've got the shifter with the up and down tilt. It's got the emergency kill switch that came, and it comes with a spare one as well. Yeah, so we'll as you can see, we're out here. The motor's in the water. I've already checked the oil. You obviously want to make sure that you check your oil when you're going out to make sure that you're not low on oil. You want to make sure that your plug's in your boat, obviously. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about sort of before we get going here is the braking period. Obviously I bought this motor brand new. Thank you Parker Marine for being so fast and efficient, and I just happened to call on the day that they were taking in some 115, so I managed to get this one. So, but obviously for braking periods you gotta really make sure that you follow it properly, otherwise it could void your warranty, which you don't want that to happen. So the manual basically says that for the first hour you run up to 2,000 varying RPMs. So I've already got three hours on here. You'll see when I fire it up here. But then the second hour, the manual says basically that you're going to throttle up, not full throttle, but throttle up onto plane and then back it off and try to keep it on plane with variable speeds for the next hour. After that, the remaining 8 hours for the first 10-hour braking period is basically you can run it at any speed. You just can't run it for full throttle for more than 5 minutes. Obviously, if you have any concerns, you want to refer to your manual in regards to your braking. I know that it can be a controversial item of talk when we start talking about motors and stuff like that being broken in. Everybody does it their own way, but I'm doing it the way Yamaha recommends. And then it says basically that the first oil change and maintenance check should be between 20 and 10 hours. I'm going to probably try to push it to 20 hours. We'll see how many hours I actually put on the main motor, because obviously once I get a trolling motor, I'll probably use that most of the time. So I may get 10 hours on it this year. We'll see. I don't know. We won't know until I start spending some more time out on the water. So let's show you the gauges. So here's my gauges. I've got my throttle that's forward and back and neutral, and this has got the trim up and down. On the gauges themselves, obviously, the Yamaha also put in an ignition to be able to start it. It's not actually on the controls like some of them are. Let's fire it up, see how quiet it is. Okay, you can see that it's peeing there. Man, is that quiet. I can't get over how quiet that is. My two-stroke would shake this whole boat when it was running. It ran good, but not at idle. But I'm going to be extremely happy with that. So, as you can see, let's start with the tachometer here. I've got 3 hours on it already. We're at 700 RPM right now. And this is the trim level here. You can see if we bring it up, it should start to come up. That's just telling me the trim, where the level is, the trim is. And then it also tells me the temperature there. This thing does have a few alerts. It does have, between the two gauges, it has an overheat alert, a low voltage alert, water separator alert, and low oil pressure alerts. All those alerts will let you know, obviously, if there's something going wrong. So the battery, it just tells you sort of where we're at in regards to that. And then the other gauge over here has your fuel on the right. You've got your speed here on, we're not moving at all, obviously. Then we have, you can do, it tells us miles per gallon, exactly how much we're actually burning, which I'll show you here when we get going. And then it tells us how far we've actually gone. It's got a separate trip and all that stuff. So right now we're at idle. It's 0.3 gallons per hour, which is pretty awesome. I mean, that's sipping fuel, right? So the way the price of fuels is right now, it's obviously kind of expensive there. So okay, so I'm going to show a couple hole shots here from the back of the boat, and then at the very end I'll show you how much fuel this thing consumes and how fast this thing cruises at both cruising speed and full throttle. wise, as you can see, roughly at about 25 miles per hour, it was about 4,400 RPM, which is a good cruising speed for this motor. It was sipping about 4 to 4.3 gallons per hour, which, you know, is pretty decent. That's not bad. Once you get going in the wind, maybe it might go down a tiny bit. And also, you got to remember, I didn't trim it up. That wasn't trimmed up at all. And I didn't do any test runs with it trimmed up. I could imagine I could get a little bit more speed out of it if it was trimmed up a little bit and a little bit less fuel, but that was basically while fully trimmed down, and even at full throttle I was fully trimmed down. So this motor was revving at 56, 57. I think I could go a little bit more. I could probably change the prop on this so that it's running at its optimum fuel efficiency and also torque. But as you saw, the whole shot was, this thing has got way more torque than that Mariner 90 horse two-stroke that I had on before, and I'm super excited about this motor, and I can't wait to be able to use it out on the ocean and actually catch some fish with it. And you know, we're idling along right now, and I'm actually having a conversation with you on YouTube, and before, you know, it was shaking the whole boat, and it was basically just super loud, and it was just hard to deal with. And then you also have the two-stroke smoke that you have to deal with, which there is no smoke with this motor. So, but yeah, I mean, I think this thing is going to be sick, and I can't wait to get the kicker on there. I've got it ordered, and hopefully I'll have that up before I have this video up. I get it purchased, hopefully. And yeah, so definitely, if you like this video, drop a like, share it with your friends. If you had any comments or questions, please leave it down below. I'm always trying to answer the questions the best I can. And definitely stay tuned for future videos that I'll have on this boat and motors, and any maintenance that I'm going to do to this thing. And for the guys that, you know, watch my channel for the motorcycles, I'm still doing motorcycle stuff. I just waiting on a lot of parts, and it's a little bit difficult to basically get some of the parts in that I want for my bike because of COVID. But anyways, that's it for now, and I appreciate all your if you watched to this point, and thanks for watching.